And we're back. This is TheJewphin with the Geekly Grind. I'm talking to Taz Pollock of Armor Games, and we are talking about Never Give Up. Can you tell me a little bit about Never Give Up?
Sure. Never Give Up is a iterative, skill-based platformer with definite inspirations from Super Meat Boy. The goal is to just get from A to B, but the levels kind of remain the same while increasing in both length as well as some changes throughout the levels. Basically, we teach the player through repetition and failure to eventually get success.
So, as I played through it, I did notice that it's the same level, it's just you're adding one or two things in that level each time. What was the design philosophy around keeping the level the same and adding to it versus putting them in a new level with very similar things?
So it's definitely a take that you don't see very often. I saw it originally in a game on Newgrounds in like 2007, and I really liked the concept and kind of kept it in the back of my head. But as I mentioned, I think that it actually winds up working out really well as it teaches the player through repetition. If you play a game like a Super Meat Boy or a Celeste, if you get through a hard section, you likely are never repeating it unless you come through and play the whole game again. So then when you get to that time, it's probably been a long time since you've played that section before, and you're likely going to struggle with it again. The goal with Never Give Up is that you're going to have to face that challenging section multiple times, but as you go through it and you complete it again and again and again, it becomes really easy for you. And it's great to see players going from failure to success just through quick and successive repetition.
Now, I've noticed that a lot of this game is about mastery, and in fact, I've seen that you have a couple of speedrunners who have been playing on and off, just trying to get the best time. Is that one of the goals, to try and make a game that people are going to want to beat as quickly as possible?
So it's definitely, I definitely have a background in speedrunning myself. It's something that I love watching as well, and so designing a game that is going to be fun and challenging to speedrun is definitely a goal for the game. And one of the aspects of the design is that it should be speedrunnable, in that it's not fun to stop and wait for any sort of a cycle of traps or moving pieces. We designed everything so that if you're doing it perfectly or close to perfectly, you shouldn't have to stop through just about all of the levels of the game. So it should give a very fast-paced, fun, and exciting experience for those looking to speedrun.
In terms of that speedrunning experience, do the traps have a set time that they start and stop? So for instance, when you start a level, is a trap always going to start in the same position, or is that a little bit randomized?
No, so it's all fixed. You're going to get the same experience every time, whether it's the first time you're playing into a new level, or if you've died, it'll all reset back to the beginning. That way, you only have to get your timing down once, and there's no luck that should be involved with it.
So ideally, somebody should be able to do it blindfolded.
Yeah, if they get their muscle memory down for it, they should be able to, for sure. I would love to see that. That would be amazing. I love seeing the guys do Super Mario Brothers blindfolded, because they've just played it so many times, and that would be super neat to see someone do that for our game as well.
I think the first person who gets through like one specific level blindfolded should be given some sort of prize. We can set that up. We got trophies here.
So, yeah, it's the contest that we have going throughout the convention here is really just drawing in some guys who are super competitive and passionate, and they've already started building like a little small community amongst themselves, which has just been really neat to see. So, and if any of them do happen to go and beat my time on the demo, we have a $100 cash bounty for them on top. So that's been a bit of an incentive as well.
Has anybody gotten close?
Yeah, the best time is within 1 second of mine.
Oh, are you feeling a little nervous?
I'm not, actually, just because the difference between their time and mine in that 1 second is actually a ton of optimizations. So I actually, given the amount of time that there have been put into it, some of these guys I think have been here for 7 or 8 hours maybe over the past 3 days. Like, I want someone to win this. Like, they've earned it.
So, to jump back from the gameplay, I want to talk a little bit about the announcer that you have in the game.
Sure.
Can you tell me more about his design?
So the Never Give Up game started as a Flash game called Give Up that I made with John Cooney, known as JMTBO2 in the Flash game world, in 2012. And So it was a silly game where we were trying to get the player to give up, and there's that giant button there to give up on. And so the announcer was just a means of trolling the player, of saying, you can't do it, you should give up, you're no good at this, go play outside, it's, you know, the government tells you to, it's fun, it's healthy for you, all of these sorts of things. We'll kill 5 kittens if you die again, and don't give up, like all sorts of just nonsense. And then you give up and it's like, not everyone can be perfect, and you know, all sorts of little things like that. So that was where the announcer started from. And then that concept expanded into a game show in the second web game that we did. And then for this full-fledged game, there is an announcer, although the majority of the voice acting is the main character, Blue himself, who's voiced by Aaron Hansen, Ego Raptor of Game Grumps. And the other pieces and the omniscient narrator to you is only in the first world, the warehouse. So I don't think it's too much of a spoiler, but after the first world and you defeat the first boss, you break out of the warehouse to be able to experience the world at large, when all you've known is like your test chamber inside. And then it becomes a very self-reflective journey of, you know, figuring out who he is as like a test subject in the world at large.
So we lose our announcer from the beginning of the game?
So you lose the omniscient person who is talking to you, but most of the lines that you are hearing, even in the first world of the game, are Blue talking to himself. And so that will stay with you for the whole game.
Excellent, because there was that moment where I had died, I think the 4th or 5th time, and I heard him make a grunt of frustration, and I think that just made it all that more better. Like, I felt both of us were linked on the same path.
Yes. So that definitely is, like, it's meant to be a bit of a meta experience throughout the whole journey and the plot of the game, in terms of you as the player and Blue as the character.
So when does the game release?
We don't have a set date, but we are eyeing early 2019.
Excellent. Well, we look forward to playing it in early 2019. And do you know which consoles you're planning on releasing on?
So we know it's coming to PC and Mac, and we can't say yet what consoles, but there should be at least 1 or 2.
Sounds good. I have at least 1 or 2.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much for joining me today.
Hey, it's great to be here.
Why is this so hard? What did I do to deserve this? Come on, get in the game.